You can feel that something is off before a soil test confirms it. The weather is decent, your inputs are the same, but the corn comes up pale and the ground feels quiet. You send a sample to the lab and the results look good. On paper, the NPK levels are balanced and the pH is right where it should be. But standard soil tests measure chemistry, not biology. They tell you what is in the pantry, but they don't say if anyone is in the kitchen. This creates a cycle where yields plateau, and you spend more money every season just to get the same results you used to get for less. Relying strictly on chemical data creates a dangerous blind spot. You end up with a field that is perfectly clean by conventional measures, yet functionally dead beneath the surface. The land is suffering from chemical fatigue. Unlike contamination, which implies a toxin must be removed, fatigue is the exhaustion of life that must be resurrected. Common inputs like glyphosate act as mineral thieves, clamping onto nutrients like zinc and iron, locking them away. When chemicals overlap for decades, they paralyze decomposers. The soil's architecture fails, cutting off air and water. No farmer is a villain here. This land was managed with the tools progress promised, based on the idea that control equaled care. Soil dies by 1,000 cuts. The tools meant to protect crops trade long-term vitality for short-term performance, leaving the ground running on fumes. Healing the ground requires a move away from the lab reports and a return to the field. You have to literally kneel in the dirt to learn the language of observation. Dig a small hole and feel the texture. Living soil feels like a cake, airy and spongy. Dead soil feels like brick dust or wet concrete. One is breathing, the other is suffocating. Take a deep breath. Notice the scent. Healthy soil smells earthy and sweet. That is geosmin, a molecule exhaled by bacteria as they digest decay. If it smells sour or sterile, the biology has gone quiet. Even the weeds are messengers. They are the first responders, volunteering where the soil is wounded. Dandelion and dock thrive in compacted ground because their deep taproots act as acupuncturists, drilling air back into the earth and drawing minerals to the surface. Once you learn to read these signs, your senses become the instruments of truth. You stop fighting the ground and start treating it like a patient in recovery. Rebuilding a biological ecosystem is a multi-year journey. Decades of loss will not be corrected in one season. The first year focuses on breath. You stop destructive tillage and create the stable conditions needed for biology to wake up and stay. Instead of fertilizing, you are seeding life. Applying living compost and charged biochar provides billions of new microbes with immediate housing in a carbon-rich environment. In the second phase, the focus shifts to digestion. The soil must learn how to metabolize and cycle nutrients on its own. By reintroducing fungal networks and using cover crops like daikon radishes to drill through compaction, you create physical channels for air, water, and future roots. These first two phases move the earth from a state of suspended animation back into active metabolism. As the land begins to digest again, the third phase focuses on diversity. The more species you invite in, the more self-balancing the system becomes. This diagram compares a standard monoculture to a polyculture. By mixing grass, legumes, and flowers, you create a living architecture where hundreds of species trade resources in a constant state of reciprocity. By the fourth phase, the soil is ready for production. The biology now carries the workload, allowing you to grow cash crops that plug directly into the established microbial network. Growth moves in whispers before it sings. It takes time for these underground alliances to form, but the transformation eventually accelerates. Following this biological path allows the farm to mature into an autonomous, resilient ecosystem that no longer depends on you for survival. The physical markers of success are visible. Water infiltrates rather than running off, the soil darkens as carbon increases, and disease pressure naturally fades. Your role shifts from the manager of a machine to a partner in a recovery. You move from forcing growth to tending a continuous conversation between roots and the earth. As the land recovers its agency, you realize that stewardship is less about control and more about relationship. The field ceases to feel like a project. It feels like kin. This leads to a different perspective on farming. Add life, protect life, and feed life. For the scalable recipes and technical blueprints needed to restore tired ground, look to Healing Soil Naturally, a farmer and homesteader's guide. Every piece of land retains the memory of how to thrive. It is simply waiting for a steward who knows how to listen.